Hello and welcome to this week's episode of House of Tremere. This week we're up to episode 11. I think with that, let's jump right in with a hello and an introduction from our players. Bob, why don't you start us off for this week?
Hey everyone, Taking Time Bob Gaming. We do a bunch of Pendragon over on my stream tonight. I'm going to be playing Jordy, the middle manager who's about to get ripped apart.
Oh yeah, good fun. Up next, speaking of being ripped apart, Emily, why don't you give us your
Stop
introduction?
saying it. Stop saying it. We're putting bad things in the universe. When Bob does that, it usually happens. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm playing Kes, and it's gonna be fine. We got it. It's gonna be fine.
All right. Up next, Ree, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hey guys, I'm Ree. I am playing Maruna tonight. I stream here. I also stream with Mortal Rolls on Mondays, and I just recently, actually, as in today, started streaming on my own channel while I draw. So feel free to check that out if you guys want to. It's Sorcery Arts, just like all my other stuff.
Wonderful.
And I'm excited. Hopefully, no one dies.
Hooray. Hopefully. Up next, Zach, why don't you give us your introduction?
Sure thing. Yes, I'm Zach. I'm playing Hasib, and as Hasib always knows, the power of friendship shall prevail. No one's going to die. Everyone's going to be fine. And Hasib's, just don't die, because a little bit more of his youthful innocence and childlike nature will deteriorate, and we don't want that. No.
Exactly. And last but certainly not least, Cyberbro, why don't you give us your introduction?
Oh, hello. I didn't see you come in. I'm Cyberbro. I'll be playing Dr. Quangle, an expert in the flesh and the mind.
Good old Dr. Quangle, who's about to Dr. Quangle all over the place. It's Quangling time. And
It's
hello!
Quangling time.
I am Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and welcome to my channel and to my Vampire the Masquerade game, House of Tremere. I hope you're excited for some dastardly, entertaining times between our witches and warlocks of the undead. I think with that, we can probably jump right into things. As we can start off with a little introduction brought on by a familiar friend of the show. We begin with the sound of static. The twisting and turning of sound, sharp and full of life. That is until whatever is in the static finally begins to shine through. The sound and the cool voice of the Caligula's countdown, led by Caligula himself, as his smooth voice begins to strike through. Welcome back, New Anglehem, and welcome to Caligula's Countdown. I hope you're excited for some great new sounds brought on by the last decade. That's right. We're counting down the 90s as we tick on closer to the end of all time. Y2K is just around the corner, and I hope you're excited, if not terrified, for what is to come. Know that even if the world does fall apart in a giant flaming set of little keyboards and massive computers, know that we'll still be right here, giving you the tunes to listen to the end of the world. This is Caligula's Countdown. With this, I'd like to pose you all a question. Do you ever feel trapped? Either by the lifestyle you find yourself in, or perhaps even it's simply the night air. Doing the same things over and over and over again. Thinking that maybe your time will come. Stick in there, little guy. Eventually, the mundane will give way to the strange and freaky. Enough to give you something worth living for. With that, why don't we move right into our next classic? A song that brought us kicking and screaming into the 90s. This is Man in a Box by Alice in Chains. Enjoy. With that, the strong metallic beat of Alice in Chains comes in. Raw and unnerving. Powerful. As we pull back to see the stereo of a familiar vehicle and two figures that sit within it, before suddenly a clawed, stony hand crashes through the ceiling, tearing away at the metal as it tries to reach in at the two individuals who are within. I think with that, we need someone to help put this entire scene in perspective, so who would like to lead tonight's recap?
All
Go
right, so
on.
here's the deal. I
What-
made really good notes for the first scene, and then I got really distracted and engaged by the game and forgot to write the rest of the notes. So I'm not very good, but I have really good notes for the first part.
Would you like to lead us in the
I can
first
start
part of
there.
that? And then, Several,
Yeah.
you can see what you can remember from there.
All right. Assuming we started with us, right? With Kess and I? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we started with by going to the exhibit, or that was our goal. Realizing that we have expert communication skills. We discussed how to get in ahead of time, and we're totally prepared and had everything we needed. In reality, we didn't, and Kess had forgotten what he needed to get us through the VIP line. So he went and exited to go do so. Jordy managed to bribe his way in with $20 bills, and then kind of went forward a little bit, but not too far until Kess was able to catch up. Looking at the exhibits, there was the permanent exhibit, which was New Angelheim, founding a fire in faith. And it involved John Wilhelm Richter, a Bavarian merchant who had a dream about the location. And not clear on whether they were kindred or prominent ghoul, but the name sounded familiar. The place was founded by German Lutheran immigrants fleeing persecution. Cut forward to the Great Fire of 1849, where a lot of the original town was destroyed. And then the city was rebuilt from there with iron, brick, and order. There was on display a half-melted iron cross warped and blackened. And then there were three wings, the west wing, the east wing, and the north wing. The east wing had Raiders and Runes, Norse Legacy on the Isle of Man. The west wing had Mysteries of the Islands, Sacred Voodoo Traditions of Haiti. And the north wing was the one we came for, which is the Kings of the Carpathians, the Dacian Legacy. So from there, we saw a number of relics on display, and for the most part, realized that all of them were in some way or another magic adjacent or magic related. There was a bronze weapon that had runes on it. Looked like it was used for ritual combat, and had spiral etchings near its hilt. We determined that it was used by ancient blood sorcery, like somewhere around 10 BCE. There was an obsidian pendant with blood red lines that shimmered in light, believed to repel the death spirits, and it predates Roman contact. It was uniquely magical and slight pull of like blood towards it, so Jordy could feel the blood, his own blood, like reacting to it. I did manage to apparently not record the other items. I thought I had them all. Damn it. There are more magical items in those two, but those are the two I think I reviewed, and I didn't record the other ones. Do you have those, Cass?
I sure do. Give me a second. It was I tried to do my best. There was a warrior weapon from a grave that had a fire sigil on it from blood sorcery, dated 10 BC. It was the Falx of, I'm not gonna try and pronounce it. And then there was a root urn, which was a ceremonial urn found in the mountains. It very clearly had been burned. And that's what I had, I believe.
Yeah, I don't have any other I can't remember for the life of me, to be honest, for past that point. Last week was a wild ride.
Oh yeah.
All right. So after that, I believe Kess and Jordy had a conversation with individuals who were anti-tributes. The gist of the conversation, from what I have, was that the anti-tributes are there in the city looking for the seed, and they're working for someone called the Iscariot. It seems like they both parties left the museum with the idea of an alliance in their heads, but upon leaving the museum, Kess and Jordy, while driving away, were attacked by a stony claw, potentially from the Unbound.
And who is the
On the other
Unbound for
side,
those who have not been part of this game or have not been watching for a long time? Those who just tuned in.
the Unbound is the gargoyle who has rejected its role as basic gopher and security inside the chantry, and dreams of freedom, we assume. Usually gargoyles just kind of do what we tell them to do.
And presumably, Gargoyle in particular has been tortured by Caius, our best buddy, the Executioner, and is all kinds of twisted now, that Gargoyle, and probably hates all of us.
Yep. We need to get maybe a vampire on HR or something like that. Would probably be for the best. On the other side of town, while the museum hijinks were going on, Maruna and Dr. Quangle approached a restaurant because Quangle's wife, Eponia, a Spellman Quangle, is in town. And so Quangle went to go meet with his wife. He dropped Maruna off a block away prior to driving there, well, being delivered by a driver. Conversations at the table went well enough between Quangle and his wife. However, Quangle discovered that his wife is working at the exhibit, specifically with the Dacian exhibit and a little bit of the Haiti voodoo one on the side. I guess the museum is understaffed. Quangle was, oh, this is important, Maximilian Walton, the primogen for the, was it Toreador?
Ventru.
It's a venture.
Ventru, yes. The Ventru primogen paid Quangle and his wife a visit. Now, Quangle did introduce his ex-wife, well, his estranged wife, as a friend, but that's just life. That happens. You know, sometimes the best you can hope to be is friends. So he introduces his strange wife as a friend, was escorted to an alley with Maximilian, where Maximilian asks Quengle to look into someone called Duke, who is potentially a kindred from the clan Ravnos. Before leaving, it was revealed that Maximilian knew that Quengle was there with his estranged wife. Quengle returned to the dinner. His wife was still there, and the dinner ended. Upon leaving the restaurant, Maruna was summoned somewhere by someone. Quengle doesn't know. I don't know. But it was summoned by someone, and they both got out of the car and ran off into the woods to an unknown future.
And also, during this time, Hasib was playing Observer at his computer, watching Jordy and Kess through the CCTV of the museum.
Yeah, Hasib and had the assistance of Michael, our friendly gargoyle, who's just another innocent, mind-washed person, but very good at watching screens.
Exactly. With that, let's jump right in. Starting off with D10 rolls. Let's see how strong your magical power is feeling today.
Okay.
Ooh,
Higher is
5.
better, right?
Hire's better.
I will reveal at this point, higher is
Oh.
better.
Hire's better.
Yes! Okay.
I'm scared. I don't want to roll it.
You gotta roll. You gotta
I'm
roll it.
scared.
Double
Gotta
Cyber
roll
Bro,
it.
I'm
Snake
believing
eyes.
it. I'm believing Cyber Bro.
There you go. There you go.
25
Isn't
Figure
that
out if we're two mortals
The
versus
question
a
is,
gargoyle, or
is 6
we have a
enough?
chance.
Okay, don't do that to me. I wanted that
Alright.
win.
With that, let's jump right in as we focus in on Geordie and Cass. Is this my right one? No, this one isn't.
Just put a funeral song on.
Funeral song?
Zach, I hate you a little bit right now. I'm very stressed.
You're fine. You got Jordy, who is
that
feeling
one
it.
doesn't
Is
quite
feeling the
fit.
power of the blood.
Jeopardy.
I don't have the new song from those. Ba 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 ba. Hope you guys are ready to feel the wrath. I think with that, why don't we focus in on what you guys are thinking and experiencing as in the sudden quiet you heard the sound of air moving as something was getting close to the car before something heavy landed on the roof and then a claw shoves through the ceiling. What's going through your mind? What's your first reaction?
Cass's first reaction is shouting expletives because there's a giant hand coming through our ceiling. And then immediately turning to Jordy and just saying, "Go, go, go, go!"
Jordy would be completely surprised by this as it happens, but as it happens, he goes into reaction mode, and he's gonna crank the wheel as hard right as he can. And if it flips the car, so be it. But I think he's able to process quick enough what hand just entered. It doesn't look human. And most human hands can't rip through steel. So let's
Yep.
start with that.
This is going to be a strength drive.
All right. I would propose that I use 2 blood points to up my strength by 2.
Agreed. Actually, roll me a d10.
Oh no.
Yeah, I should have been more clear. That's what he would intend to do.
Okay, you do. You succeed.
Ugh.
The blood flows through to your muscles as we see under your shirt your muscles begin to swell and tighten as the blood gives you strength. Make the roll.
Difficulty?
This will be a difficulty of... You're trying to flip the car, right? Or are you just trying to stop?
He's either trying to rip this thing off of it and risking flipping
Okay.
the car.
So
yeah.
you're trying
Doesn't sound
not
like he's
to
trying
flip
to
the car.
stop.
Yeah, I think his intent isn't to
Okay.
flip us on purpose. Yeah.
In that case,
But he's willing
Strength
to
drive?
let that happen because
yeah. Strength drive, difficulty 6. However, if you, you'll need more successes to not flip the car over. If you just get one,
Yep.
you'll succeed, but the car will flip over.
The car oral.
Yeah. With that, you
Okay.
immediately grab the
You're ready.
rear wheel, turning it to the side, as we see the car begin to turn and pitch. However, we realize at this point that the road is not even in the part of the city that you're in, as the car, as the wheel hits a rock and begins to turn and flip over. What's going through Kess's mind as the car begins to turn and flip as it flies through the air?
I mean, he braces. So here's a weird question:
Mm-hmm.
Are there street lights? Because we're in the city still, right?
Yeah, there would be streetlights.
Or are we out? Okay. I'm going to. So Cass braces himself like with one arm, and is the hand still through? Like, is still like the claws through?
Yes, you can see the claws in the ceiling.
Can I grab one?
You want to try and grab the claw? Okay.
I have the, I
This will
have the
be
thing.
a strength brawl.
Oh no, I don't want to pull it. I just want to touch it. I don't want to like actually like.
Oh, you just trying to touch
Hold it.
Trying to touch
I'm just
it.
trying to touch it.
Okay, dexterity
hold-
brawl then.
Okay. Ooh, I forgot how to roll for a second. I'm so sorry. Okay, what do I have 0 in? Well, what's the difficulty?
The difficulty will be... You're in a speeding car. Difficulty 8.
8. Nope. Well, did botches count?
Not for you. No.
Yay.
Because this is also not a supernatural roll. You're not using your
Yeah,
will.
I will poke it.
Alright. You managed to touch the claw. What would you like to do?
He's gonna bite his tongue and he's gonna cast something.
Okay, then. Make your roll. Your thaumaturgy
Okay.
roll.
Oh god, why can I not figure out how to do that?
I would like to
I have
inform
never
you,
had to roll.
Botch is alive.
Yeah, no. I figured anything thaumaturgy, I assume botches are alive. What is... So what would I roll? Oh, it's right there. Never mind. I
yeah,
don't have
you'll
a
be
button for
rolling
it yet.
Willpower. Your difficulty will be
Okay.
on the level of the power. 3 plus whatever.
Oh,
the difficulty
okay.
is.
Okay, so that would be 7. Can I... No, I can't burn a... That's stupid. Never mind. That was a dumb question. So I feel like, can I burn a willpower?
You can spend a point of
I-
willpower to get an order success.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing it. I mark that on my sheet. One success.
1 success. Luckily, this is the thaumaturgy roll. You only need 1 success to set it off. What power are you using?
I'm casting Uriel's Disfavor.
Alright. Why don't
which
you
makes
tell us
any
what...
light. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So any light is physically painful and causes aggravated damage for 1 week.
Okay.
So any, even artificial lights, street lights, car lights are excruciating. Only that even the dimmest light, it says, is extremely uncomfortable.
All right then. Very nice. With that, the car begins to tilt and turn over as the wheels leave the ground, and for a moment you're in the air. There's that moment of quiet before suddenly, bang, crash. The roof of the car collides into the ground, and so does, and it begins to roll over. The door itself begins to become scratched out by the uneven ground before eventually you tumble back over on the wheels, back over onto the back, over and over again. I need both of you to make a stamina fortitude roll. So if you have fortitude included, this is considered a soak roll. So if you have any bonuses for that.
There's a roll soak button too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Can we just hit roll soak?
Yep, and I'll ask you to add stamina and add fortitude.
Yes.
And if you
Add
don't have it, it won't.
fortitude? No.
Base difficulty 6, Mark.
Yes, base difficulty. You guys are vampires. Do you have fortitude, Bob?
Yes, I have 1 point.
Okay, so that botch does count. And 1 success. Okay.
A failure, not a botch, though, right? It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a failure, not a
Cancels
botch,
out.
sorry. I mean to say the 1 takes away from your success. Alright. Would make sense. Yeah. Alright. Geordie, you take 3 lethal damage. Kess, you take 2 lethal damage. As you crash into the ground, the car skids for a bit before eventually coming to a stop in the middle of the street. Pieces of the car are scattered everywhere. You guys are currently upside down as your belts have fastened you to the chair.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Jordy's gonna unbuckle as quick as he can. That's his goal. Get
Yeah,
free.
Kets too. I'm also looking at Kets looks up to see if he's still like touching or if he just has the hand on the top of the car now.
Yeah, your hand is on top of the car. The car is now upside down. There is no.
Is
figure.
am I still touching? There's no like claws.
No, the hand has disappeared by him.
Good. All right. Just
You
needs
would
to
have
disappear
lost
for a second.
connection with it when the car rolled.
Yeah, unbuckle and drop.
All right. With that, drop to the ground. I need both of you to make me strength athletics to get the car door open after a crash. Actually, one question, Jordy, would you have disabled the safety features of the car, such as airbags and stuff like that, or would you have them active? And then
Oh no, he would have those in. Yeah, those would be in.
In that case, retake back. You guys take. Jordy, you take 2 points of lethal damage. Kess, you only take 1. But you do have like this massive airbag in your face now, and on the
Yeah.
I have a knife that I've just been chilling with. I'm just gonna start popping airbags to get myself out.
All right then. All right then, and ooh. Is Jordy a type to open the door carefully, or just kick out the window so he can climb out?
In this sort of scenario, it's more like wartime.
Okay. So we watch,
but
as you-
99% of the time he's very conservative.
Yeah. So we watch as you rear back, get your legs ready, as you shove your feet through the window. The glass shatters outwards, and you find yourself able to climb out the window.
I follow Jordy out his window.
All right. With that, you both manage to claw out into the street. At this point, you see people have begun to step out of their homes. A couple of people looking out of windows from up above. And you hear, and you can see someone who is like on a phone while they see the scene.
Do I see? The first thing I'm doing is looking for our dear friend.
Perception, alertness.
Difficulty 6.
Yes, difficulty 6. I'm gonna use half his dice pool as a level of success if you need.
6 successes.
Just to get this out there too, Mark, I'm gonna try to use a blood to heal at the same time.
Roll a d10. You succeed.
Ooh.
You force the blood through your body as the broken bones within you begin to heal and reset.
Can I tell that that things are like not working how they should right now in this moment for me?
I think so. I think you can feel that almost like a chugging sensation, or a sensation of like gears that are supposed to be spinning that are slower than they should be. All right then. With that, Kess, as you're looking about frantically, you see up on one of the buildings this kind of section of it that doesn't quite fit, but like kind of sticks out a little. As you see, the bit of stone seems to be camouflaging this large creature that seems to just be watching you. At this point, it is up above the street lamps. And you can see what look to be burn markings on its skin.
He's going to grab Jordy's arm. We need to go. Stay in the light.
Are we sure we want to move from here? There's witnesses. I don't think it's gonna act. If we walk somewhere away from the eyes of people,
It
it'll
doesn't
take that
care.
opportunity.
It doesn't care about the Masquerade, Jordy. It just jumped on top of our car.
Well, where's it now? He's just looking around.
Kes will kind of not look at it. He's just going to say, building to the right, top. It won't come in the light for a while, but we need to figure out either dealing with this with the cops or
At this point,
Getting
you
out
begin
of
to
here.
hear sirens in the distance.
It's too late. It's better we
Okay.
go through what's necessary. Play the role. With that, he's gonna ask, can I see that phone? Actually, can you punch in a number for me?
yeah.
And he gives, without stating who, he gives the number to the sheriff.
Alright. The phone rings, or eventually it's answered, as you hear. Sheriff's office, who's calling?
It's Jordy. I might need a ride home.
I see. I'll let the sheriff know. Where's your location?
I'll look around to even know if I know where I'm at. Is there street signs or a corner or something?
Yeah, you'd have like, there'd be like a street sign for where you are.
On the corner of, I say it.
Confirmed. Will someone pick you up? Right now, don't talk to the cops, and certainly don't go with them.
But they're coming right now. I gotta at
Then
least tell them.
stall. Nanga hangs up.
Say it was a dog. You were speeding, you hit a right, trying to get out of the way. They don't exactly have deer out here.
Right.
This is bad. It's going to follow us.
The sheriff's on his way.
Okay. I'm going to kill Caius. For this.
Looks like we're on the same page.
Don't act high and mighty now.
He looks at you, confused. By saying I agree?
By sounding like you got your way. Yeah, so just intermittently looking at the gargoyle. Any
You can
light
see it slowly slinking across the building, crawling itself along the stones, and before it eventually climbs up onto the little tent, disappears. That's not to say it's gone.
Oh yeah,
but you
it just
can't
means I
see
can't
it
see
right
it.
now.
It won't be able to see light for a while. For a week. So I bought us a week of carry a flashlight.
I think, Mark, I think Jordy is very much a flashlight in the glove box kind of guy. So when she says that, he would go back into the car carefully and try to get the flashlight.
All right.
If you accept that theory, I think he is. He has a military training, and he's a bit of a survivalist. He's got 2 points in it.
I assume you'd have like the basics you would need. You'd have a first aid kit, flashlight, knife, any of those things.
Exactly.
So you
What do
managed
I-
to go
Aid
over,
kit.
pull the door open as you hear there's like a scraping of metal, and you manage to open up the glove box and find what you need. Out of curiosity, does Jordy carry a gun?
I want to say no, but there's probably a good chance he does.
Roll me d10.
Whatever he does, it would be the legal sort, I think.
Okay. With a 3, I'll say there is a gun in a glove box, but I'd say you probably have a license for it, if not under your name, under a pseudonym. But the question is whether you would leave it in the glove box or you'd take it with you.
I think you leave it for now.
Okay.
What does my lethal wound look like? Meaning, like, what are the chances that they're not gonna give me a choice about getting in the ambulance?
You probably look
You could-
like you hit your head pretty hard.
Okay.
It's probably just like scrapes and cuts more than anything. A lot of the actual damage is like internal. If they did like a proper look over your body, they might notice that something's out of place. But as long as they don't have a proper look through, you should be fine. Again, it's not enough that it starts to actually debilitate you. It's only one level.
Okay. I just need yeah, because there's a point when you can't refuse medical attention. I was just wondering if I looked like I was at that point.
Not quite at that point. Not unless someone particularly tried to look into you.
Okay, cool. I'm following your lead, so have fun.
Right.
Alright then. With that, the sounds of sirens come to a head as 2 police cars and 1 ambulance arrives. Seeing that you two seem to just be standing in the middle of the road, or perhaps off to the side, whichever it is, the police officers, 2 police officers get out of one of the cars and begin to approach you. You can see that, looking at them, both of them have their hands at the ready.
Gertie would just stand with good posture and wait for them to approach.
Yeah, Kess is trying to look at the car and give the best look of, well, that's a loss. Like,
With that, one of the officers looks at both of you and goes, "Are you the 2 that were involved in this crash?"
That's right. It's my vehicle.
Can we see some ID? Begins to relax, taking his hand away from his gun.
I think he has it, like his wallet in his hands already, you know, so he'd flip it out and hand his ID.
that's
Out of
Hanses.
curiosity, do you have alternate identity or any merit that would give you an identification that is not your own?
I do not.
No, I didn't think about that.
Okay. Do you have a fake ID?
I assume there's some kind of protocol for that, so probably.
So you have an ID, but you know that it, if checked up on, it would come up as false.
Gotcha. All right, let me take this a step back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have discarded the fake ID,
Okay.
and when he goes to open the wallet, he goes, "Where's my? Oh no, I don't have my ID on me."
Make a manipulation subterfuge.
Difficulty.
Standard difficulty. They don't have any reason to be particularly suspicious at the moment.
Oh,
Ooh. Kind of looked
we're
at
good
you.
at lying.
You have any identification at all? Driver's license? Passport? He kind of just
Look,
says...
Yeah. See, this is where it gets a little awkward because I'm not sure how it would work for, like, it's a registered vehicle, so I'm not sure what it's registered under. But I'm assuming it's a credible registration, so he'll just say...
It would be a credible registration.
Yeah, so he'll pull out his what he has in his hand then is the registration papers.
Yeah.
It's under my name. You can run the tags.
He takes it, he passes it to the other guy who takes it, makes his way back over to his car. So, what happened?
Animal ran across the street. I didn't want to hit it,
An animal.
Dog, probably.
People can't keep their pets indoors. Every time.
Yeah, I didn't want to deal with the consequences, and I guess I turned the wheel a little too hard.
I think we should really keep those things on leashes. Alright. It's fine, it happens all the time. Though, not usually so. He looks over to the turned over car and the bits of metal that spray that everywhere. Not usually so dramatic. Have you been drinking tonight, sir?
No, sir.
Alright. That eventually, the other police officer comes back and goes, just looks to the other guy and nods and he goes, alright. Do you mind if we check the car? He hands back your registration papers.
Not at all. If you might, though, do you mind if we take a few photos of this first? Before anything's dealt with, just for insurance purposes?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead.
I'll hand him my
Alright.
cell phone.
Does it have a camera in it?
That's true. Wait,
This is the question.
I was thinking of flip phone, and that's not even accurate yet.
No.
Yeah, no. Do you have a
Um,
camera?
Need a camera.
No.
Camera.
Yeah, he'll pause and he'll be like, "You don't happen to have a camera with you?"
See what the boys have. He turns around and makes his way over to the other police car.
He's trying to buy time, like he was told by the sheriff. So that's yeah.
Do any of you have a cigarette? Yes, with his bleeding head wound.
Police officer looks towards you. They're gonna make a roll. Make a manipulation subterfuge.
He does legitimately need a cigarette.
No, that's not the problem.
Okay.
They get a good look at you, so it's whether or not they see that you're injured.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's fair. 6.
Yes.
2 successes. Oh, well.
3 successes. Looks
That's
over you
alright.
from him and goes, "You right, sir?"
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I hit my head, but I'm good.
I mean, we can get the ambulance people to check it out.
Nah, it's alright. Believe me, I've had worse. I was crazy as a teenager, believe me.
Alright, but you might have a concussion or something. It might just be better if I go ask them.
No, it's really fine. I'll deny medical attention, but if they want to ask the questions just to make sure, I'd be willing to answer them.
Well, if you're gonna do that, they're gonna need you to sign something.
Alright, I'm cool with that. Can I have my ID to give them? I don't know if they need it.
You have to go over.
Yeah.
Do you give over your actual ID?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's given his actual ID. He doesn't have a fake. It's just
Yeah.
his actual ID.
Takes the ID and walks over. Time passes before eventually a paramedic comes over with what looks to be some forms and a clipboard and goes, "I'm gonna need you to sign this."
Sounds good. You need me to tell you the year of the president or anything?
No, I think we're probably fine.
Alright, he'll sign it and then put his hand out for his ID.
And your ID
Have a
back
good
to
night.
him.
Sorry to waste your call.
Well, it's alright. Cool, no one's injured is always a good sign. With that, make their way back to the ambulance, and the ambulance drives off. 2 police cars are still hanging around, though. Eventually, one of them comes back with what looks to be a camera of some sort. You can see the camera actually has on it the police department. New angle, the NAPD.
All right.
Before
With that,
eventually you hear a car speeding around the corner and the burning of rubber tires. Before eventually you see someone step out and goes, "Alright, fellas, you're done here." Police officer turn and go, What the fuck do you mean? This is officially an active crime scene. I'm gonna need you to get the hell out of here. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Well, the officers go, we're taking care of this. It's not a big issue. Look, detective, and it's before that he can finish the sentence, the person responds and goes, I told you to get the hell out of here. What, you want me calling your boss? You think the captain's gonna put up with this shit? Get the fuck out of here! The police officers just fucking shake their heads and get off into their cars as the police cars begin to drive off. And suddenly you're left with the man in a coat. He looks at you and goes,
Familiar to us?
Make a intelligence politics. Both of you can actually do that difficulty 5.
Wait, so this isn't the sheriff?
No, this isn't the sheriff.
Okay.
But it is someone related to the sheriff, so it's difficulty 5.
Do-
Botches don't count for this
botches
because it's
count?
not supernatural.
1 success.
Can I make a proposal of some kind of modifier for the fact I have a merit called Lawman's Friend?
That is why you have
If this
difficulty
is-
5.
Gotcha.
In fact, that's why you both have difficulty 5. Yeah. Cass, it takes you a little while. You recognize this person. Jordy, you recognize this man immediately. This is the sheriff's school. This is
Gotcha.
Detective Walker. You two the ones I'm here for?
Detective Walker, thanks for coming to our aid.
Oh, you're the
Jordy.
yeah. Never remember what you people are called. Alright. Into the car. Sheriff wants to talk to both of you now.
Awesome.
That he gets to the front of his vehicle. And presumably, you both get in the back.
Guess we'll also ask him for a cigarette.
He passes you a cigarette. As he lights a cigarette himself before lighting yours.
Thank you.
Whatever you say, boss.
Can you let Hasib know that we're going to the sheriff's office?
I call Hasib.
So here's the thing, Mark.
Mm.
Hasib hasn't got a response back to his 47 phone calls.
I imagine your
There's a
phone's been on
sol-
silent, and you just see like 47 missed calls.
Oh yeah. I've been actively ignoring them. It was on vibrate, so he could tell it was like
Yeah.
going off the entire time. It was just like I can't answer.
So here's the thing, and what you can decide how it goes. But Hasib, the last thing Hasib saw was like his buddy Bitegeist showing him feed of a guard being murdered, the same people they were just talking to, and it was Toreador territory. Not like they will cause too much trouble on camera there, but on the road. And now they're not answering their phone for a very long time, like a long time. I see would probably grab Michael and try to go out to find them. If I were to not know any of this meta knowledge, they would have probably flown out into the dark sky to like look down from above.
Mhm.
To try to see, because he knows the general direction of the museum, what routes they may take. The chances of spotting one car, even if he knows what the car looks like, is very slim. He does have aspects, so he can see pretty well, but that's what Hasib would have done.
So you're using your thaumaturgical powers to fly.
Yes. So Michael, since we have to go out in pairs, Hasib would ask Michael to come out with him. So Michael could probably fly on his own, and Hasib can mystically make himself fly.
Just so you know, if someone sees you, that'll be a pretty big breach of the Masquerade.
Sorry. Also in combination with Obfuscate 2.
Okay, that makes more sense. Alright. Well, with that one, you make me an activation roll for your thaumaturgy. Spend a point of blood and activate your roll your willpower. I think the difficulty is just going to be the highest one you can do for your level.
Yeah, I think it's to fly for Hasib. It's level 3 is what he needs to do.
So that'll be difficulty 6.
All right. Willpower.
And you just need success for an activation. Oh, also, let me see what you rolled. Okay. Botcher's alive. 3 successes.
All right. So Hasib, a bit nervously, will look to Michael and say, "They're not answering their phones. We have to go help them. They must be being attacked right now by those murderers at the museum.
Yes.
We have to protect their family, Michael.
We must help.
Hasib nods and kind of like before when we were in a group and Hasib used Obfuscate, but like let Michael still see him, I suppose, so we could still fly together.
Yeah, you just activate it while Michael's around, and then anyone else who sees you from that point on can't.
Yeah, so Hasib will lead the way, I suppose, since he knows the direction. I don't think Michael really knows the city. I'm not sure what he knows, or
Michael's not sure what he
anything.
knows either.
Right, yeah. So they take off into the new Anglehem dark sky.
Alright then. Why don't you make me a... Witch Streetwise.
Hasib is very good at that. Streetwise, that thing that
This will be
Hasib
difficulty
has.
7.
Okay, good. Hasib has 0 streetwise, which is not surprising, and he has 1 wits. So, hold on, let me roll that big dice pool.
Botches are not live for this, this is not a supernatural roll.
Yes. Oh.
Luckily for you, botches are not live. I think as you're like flying around, like looking through the streets, you realize you don't really know the city that well either. So it's quite literally the blind leading the blind in this regard. As you're like, this way, and Michael's like, Yes, I shall follow you and help. Only for you to kind of fly down a street and then realize you don't know where the hell you are.
Yeah, the panic slowly creeping up into Hasib's
I think
face.
also, like, you're far too high up to actually see any of the street signs. So you're not quite sure where you are either.
Yeah, like and Hasib has eidetic memory. He might have it all memorized on a flat map, but when he's at this perspective,
Exactly.
you know, it's all off. So he'll kind of panic and look to Michael and say, I don't I thought I was over here. The museum is over there, and they would usually be making this way back. The traffic isn't bad this way, but I don't think that's the right road. Where? What do you think, Michael? I'm not sure where we can find them.
Michael looks around. There is sound. Sirens. That way. As he points down the street, as you can see, like, there are some, like, flashing lights off, like, the building sides, heading in a direction in the city.
Sirens? Like from police or ambulance? Oh no, they've been attacked. Destruction probably causing accidents or combat. We have to go. They might need our help. And
At which point, you feel Michael grab onto you with these large stone hands and begin to fly you in the direction. He can move much faster than you can. So he is dragging you through the sky. Though your power has made you
Hasib-
much lighter, so he can actually go full speed.
Perfect. Hasib is, while he is super worried, he is kind of enjoying the lift.
We see like the movement of the large stone, almost angel-like wings that are pushing forward through the sky. I will say for you, Hasib, it makes no sense why a creature like this could fly. It just does.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And we're the best buds gonna save our family. And we're totally not gonna piss off another evil gargoyle. It's hanging around.
Alright then. I think with that, we are going to cut away from this scene entirely and catch up with what the other two Tremere are up to. As we focus in on the summoned Maruna and the inquisitive Dr. Quangle. Dr. Quangle, you have watched as Maruna has walked in almost a straight line down the streets for the past hour, not stopping, not even stopping to, like, seemingly not divine a location, but analyze her surroundings or figure out which direction she's going. She's just heading in a direction. She just seems to know intuitively.
Quengle would note that, maybe he has a small little doctor's notebook. Subject appears to be guided by some force not of this world. So he's just maybe a step or two behind Maruna, letting her lead while taking notes. Would Maruna be responding to any questions, or?
Maruna, you are focused. You just hear this in your head over and over again. He has summoned you. You must see him. He has summoned you. You must see him. It is a presence on your mind that cannot be ignored.
I think if you speak loudly enough, she kind of acknowledges that she's heard you with like I'm sorry, I can't but she's not able to like process any questions or have any conversation.
Okay. Subject appears to be unfocused. He's just taking the notes and going along. Since she's focused and just going in a direction, kind of like look around and make sure we're not being followed.
Sure. Perception alertness. Difficulty standard, so 6.
All right. Emily, I need my luck back. You've come out of your danger.
I have to.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Hey, okay. All
2
right.
successes.
I can feel it.
Alright, then. With that, you do not think you see anyone following you or Maruna. At this point, the streets have begun to quiet much more. People are heading home, people aren't heading out as much. The people who are aren't paying attention. Certainly don't care about some random people wandering the streets.
Okay. Well, I will I guess follow behind Maruna. Just being alert in my own way, but also taking notes.
Alright. With that, Maruna, you arrive outside of a familiar building. As you step inside and are welcomed in by the front desk valet / security guard, who welcomes you in and gestures you towards the elevator at the back. Dr. Quango, you see as Maruna enters into what just looks to be a random building.
Okay. I'm following right behind her, so if she's walking in, I'm walking in.
Alright. As you do, there is a man behind the front desk who seems to quickly get up and make his way over you and stand between you and Maruna. He goes, "I'm sorry, sir, this is for residents only."
Okay. How close is he? Like, is he's standing in between us, but
Yeah.
how close is he to me? Within arm's reach?
He'd be within arm's reach, yeah.
Okay.
He's blocking your
Just
path.
good to know. Yeah, unfortunately. I'm sorry, we have the buddy rules, so we have to go to the same place. Rules, you know.
I'm sorry, but I
Yeah.
have been asked not to allow any others, aside from those who have been approved, to come through. Company policy, I'm afraid.
What company would that be, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it's the... Uh, this is the Ostratine Realty Company.
Ostratine Realty. I'm going to make note of that, and then I'd like to use a power. Ostratine Realty. I'm going to use Thaumaturgy, Path of Corruption. The power is Contradict. So the way this works is that I can interrupt the subject's thought process, forcing the victim to reverse his current course of action. An archon may be caused to execute a prisoner that they were about to exonerate. This is basically giving an example.
Yeah.
So if I'm using an ability, I have to roll blood. Like
You spend a point of blood and you roll your willpower. What level power is this?
level 1.
Okay, so it's difficulty 4. Your willpower at difficulty 4.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
spend a point of blood to
of
activate
blood.
it.
Point of blood spent. Roll willpower.
Just so you know, Botch is alive for this.
Heard. willpower, path, virtues, trait, willpower, submit, modifier, difficult. You said difficulty 4, correct?
Yep, difficulty 4.
Okay, no willpower, public.
4 successes.
I'm back.
With
I'm
that,
back.
he looks to you and he says, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't let you through," as he steps out of the way and gestures for you to go in.
Thank you. And Quangle follows right behind Marina.
And then he just kind of stands there for a moment. Confused. With that, you step into the elevator alongside Maruna. Maruna, you haven't even clocked that Quangle is here. You're so focused inside your head at this time. The elevator chooses a floor and begins to go all the way up to the top. Quangle, as you're looking around, this is a very nice elevator. Like, it's been gilded with gold on the sides and these kind of fancy shapes. There's like these wonderful, almost mosaics on the walls that show what look to be almost a verdant garden of flowers.
How nice. Marina, do you think this elevator insists upon itself? Like, I know that it's nice and gilded, but does it insist upon itself?
Do I notice him at that? Can I?
I think you notice him for the first time.
Dr. Krangle?
Yes, the one and only.
You can't you can't be here. He can't. Please wait downstairs. Please.
Are you asking me, or is our friend asking me?
He can't see. He can't know you're here.
Okay. Don't do anything foolish. I will stay on the elevator and go back down.
Thank you.
With that, the elevator dings as the door slides open. You, Maruna, as you look out, you see a verdant garden. Beautiful flowers. Roses that align the walls. You see the items that sit on pedestals are there, but everything around is this luscious garden. It would be beautiful if it wasn't for this putrid, repugnant smell that fills your senses. As you step forward instinctively, you look around to see that within the rose bushes of this garden, you see carcasses, rotten, dying. One of them looks to have a hand that's sticking out. This is a beautiful garden built on death. It smells like it. A beautiful exterior, but rotten to the core. For you, Dr. Quankle, you just see what looks to be like a private museum of sorts. A lot of strange items and artifacts that have been set up in large glass boxes.
Oh, how nice. Do I see anyone else in the museum, or is it empty?
It's empty for the moment.
Okay. I'm going to peek outside of the door. Is there a button, a control panel for the elevator to go back down?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure, Maruna? All right, run along and meet your friend. You've got 1 hour.
With that, the doors to the elevator close. Maruna, you are left alone once more.
I'll step a little further in.
As you step through, the garden gives way, returning to the site. At least what you think it's supposed to look like. Maybe what it does look like. As you step through, you see that there is that large empty glass box. But you see the shadow of a figure within it. You see the figure put its hand out against the glass, almost as if it's reaching for you.
She'll reach out towards it. I think just on instinct.
You hear the words, whispers. Help me. A feminine voice, young, pushing through the darkness. A half moon shines down from above on the garden. And in the distance, a red star shines brightly. A sign of what's to come. A sign of the end. Suddenly you snap back to reality. As you are standing facing an empty glass box. Big enough to fit a person.
It's empty. That is that new? Because normally isn't it normally occupied?
This one is a new one. There
Oh,
is
this
another
is a
one that
new
is
one.
occupied.
Ah,
That
got
one's
it,
off to
got
the
it, this is a
side.
new one.
And that one's like
Great.
this one's like a large, tall one for like a standing figure, and the other one is a box with like a Sleeping Beauty type figure.
Like a coffin? Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Okay.
glass coffin.
Yep. Hello? I'm here.
With that, you hear the familiar footsteps stepping through, as you find yourself faced with a handsome man. A smile on his face, as his red hair almost seems to dance in the breeze. My dear Rune child, you've come back to me.
Of course. You called. And I did what you asked.
As I knew you would. He holds his hand out.
She kind of slowly pulls the book out of her satchel and hands it to him.
He takes the book. He smiles as he opens it out. He pushes through the pages. Not reading, just looking.
Be careful. I tried to read it and I saw something.
Wonderful.
I've been seeing a lot of things, actually. Devils.
As you look to him, you see he is completely entranced by this book. He gets like this sometimes.
Yeah. She'll kind of
Yeah.
Fox.
Oh,
Sorry,
yes,
I
Runechild?
didn't.
He closes the book.
Sorry to disturb you. Is you called me here. Was
Yes, I
it for the
did.
book? Is there something else?
Indeed there is, my dear child. As he turns around and begins to walk off, but he gestures for you to follow him. And as he does, you feel that pull in your chest as if your body moves forward before you can even process it. He makes his
I'll
way over
follow.
to what looks to be a large stand that has been set up. And he places the book on it. It takes a few moments to position it correctly to his mind. Yes, there is something else I need added from my collection.
What is it?
A girl.
And why? Who?
She is someone who has had an unfortunate life. Suffered for much of it. Having to scrounge together what she can. Might actually find something in common with her. She is very special. Much like you, my dear. I need her brought to me.
What do you plan to do?
Preserve her beauty, of course.
Well, if she's special, then maybe couldn't she she could help me?
Perhaps. But I want to see her brought to me first. I want to make sure she's safe. Unharmed. Unsullied.
And who is she? Where is she?
Selena Francis. I want you to track her down.
I've never done something like this.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be great at it. No need to worry about such things.
You promise she'll be safe?
Of course. I will ensure that she is kept eternally safe. ensure that she is unmarred.
All right. How many more jobs will there be?
He
Think.
pauses. He turns to you, and that friendly smile is gone. As he steps forward, a hand goes through your hair. Though it's not kindly, it's possessive. Possessive. Don't worry about such things, child. Just be happy that you have a purpose.
All right.
Good. And then he steps back and his kind smile returns. Well
Tina.
then,
Is that all?
yes, it is.
All right. I'll see you soon then.
Oh yes. Yes, you will.
She'll turn. And then I think she'll turn back when she gets to the door and just say, "Watch out for devils. They're coming."
I'm not worried about devils, Maruna. Hell is no place for the beautiful.
If you say so. A good night.
Good night, dear child. Good night.
She'll head quickly to the elevator and go back down to meet Dr. Quangle.
You're waiting there, Dr. Kangle, for maybe 10 minutes before the doors to the elevator open to reveal Maruna, who I imagine looks quite shaken.
Let's go.
All right, come along. I'll look to the valet security guy. We're leaving. I'll just say that we're leaving without looking at it.
Back, go back. We'll talk about it, back at the chantry.
Yes, do you intend on walking? We don't have the car. We walked here. These are my
Sorry
nice
about-
shoes, Maruna.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I can call a cab or something. We can flag one down, probably.
That seems like that'll be for the best. Interesting night. Very interesting night.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll
I
flag
told you
down
that there were some things I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes, I've noticed that you've been unfocused. as of lately.
When we get to your office, I'll tell you. As much as I physically can.
That's good. Don't worry, we are stronger together than we are divided. Everything will be fine.
And in her head, she just sees the red star.
As you look up towards the sky, you see the red star shining down upon you. It can't be ignored anymore. It's always there.
Back, she'll look for a cab.
Alright. That you guys get yourself a cab. And we cut back to Geordie and Kath. As you arrive outside what looks to be a large office building. With that, the detective opens the door for you and ushers you inside. He seems he's gone from bravado detective to subservient very quickly.
A ghoul that knows his place.
Does Jordy say that out loud?
No.
Okay. It's like, there's going to be a reaction if he said that out loud.
Alright. With that, you guys are led inside, up into an office. Where, inside that office, sitting behind a desk, is a familiar figure to you both. This is the sheriff of the city, Helen Cartwright.
Hello, Helen. How are you?
So tell me why I've received a report that a car flipped over in the middle of the road after trying not to hit a dog.
Sounds better than a gargoyle.
A gargoyle?
That's right.
Last time I checked, there were no gargoyles in the city. Where did this gargoyle come from?
Last time I checked, there were no Assamites in the city either.
Oh, so you're telling me the prince invited them in? Or did you invite them in?
Do you think I was in any position of power to make a gargoyle? We're dealing with a mess that was created, but not by our hands.
Who made the mess?
It's dangerous to make accusations outright.
So you know who it is then?
One might say there's a certain executioner that one could say is responsible for such a beast.
Of course he is. Alright. Does the prince know?
Last time I tried to talk to him, I was waylaid.
Alright.
Seemed they were too interested talking to the diablerizing monsters and to give us time to talk to them.
So, you'll tell the prince.
I would if I could. Prince hasn't been speaking to me.
Why?
I don't know. I was hoping to see if I could catch him during the Elysium coming up. But so far, he and his office have been avoiding my calls. That is to say, they've been telling me to fuck off, but in a nice way. Honestly, I'm
anyone
getting
seen
sick
him?
of it. Only the seneschal, as far as I know.
That's who
He's
got
the
in
only
my
one I
way.
seem to be able to
At
get.
the last Elysium.
I see. He's the only one the Prince's office I've been able to get in contact with.
It's feeling a little bit like a political coup, isn't it?
Coup. Could be cooing against the Prince. Feels like a
That's to
quick
say
way to
if the
get yourself
prince is-
killed.
That's to say if the prince is still there. Companies do takeovers all the time, and they can be very quiet.
We're talking about
What do we
an
know about the
elder
seneschal?
here. Louis Brand is the Prince's child. As far as I know, he's about as old as I am.
I'm just saying
What's
I've
that name you
played.
said?
Sorry.
Hmm?
Louis Brand. Seneschal. I've played a smaller scale version of this chess game. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
So what, you're saying Louis is planning some sort of takeover or something?
I don't know. But if you've slowly lost contact with the prince, no one can get in contact with him whatsoever, except his seneschal, seemingly. But no one ever sees the prince, they only see the seneschal. It doesn't feel correct.
Any other big news going around the local cam?
No, it's quiet. Which means things are probably happening, they're just not telling me about them.
How about yourself? Anything standing out as different, aside from getting the closed door treatment?
Not particularly. Things seem to be going the same. The Primogen are their usual selves. Vandal's a pain in my ass as usual. That's to be expected.
Yes.
If you'd like, you make intelligence politics.
So has a pain in Jordy's ribcage too.
Yeah.
Literally. Do I even need a roll for that? I think you gave it to me last time.
Oh yeah, then you could probably figure it out. I don't know if I mentioned his name.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty will be difficulty 7.
One success.
Yeah. You've heard of Vandal, or as he goes. Botches would not count for this, so it'd be 1, because you're not using supernatural powers. So you guys have both heard of the Bruja Primogen, who goes by the title or the name of Vandal Violence. A punk rocker with a militaristic a punk rocker, a militant activist with a bad attitude. You remember him quite well, Geordie, as he caved in your ribcage the last time you met him.
Indeed. Yeah. He caught me well feeding yesterday.
What?
I wish there was something I could do for you,
Sorry.
Geordie, but
You got us here.
look, do you need help with this gargoyle problem? I could maybe have a
Yes.
few hounds I can spare you, but everything in preparation to this Elysium coming up has got me pretty busy. Cleaning up small messes, dealing with people that don't want to return their letters, people that are disappearing. Pretty expected during this time.
What do you mean disappearing?
People like to pretend they go underground whenever an Elysium shows up. Gives them an excuse to say, oh, I wasn't in town, or not available. Maybe I died. It's pretty common. Not too worried about it, at least. Not until something definitive
Anyone in
comes up.
particular?
No, the Nosferatu tend to go underground. To be expected. No. Cavians. I don't know how I'm supposed to fucking reach them, but... It's not something you should
try and
concern yourself with.
I can try and ask the father if you want me to.
It's up to you. Okay, I have a request of you two. This will be, think of it as your way of paying back me for covering up what just happened tonight. I want you to find out what happened to
Alright.
the prince. If something did happen to him. If it turns out he's fine and he's just being a little quiet or a little off, I want you to back off immediately. But if there's something, I want you to find out what it is.
You know what helped with that a bit?
What's that?
Could really use someone with a little bit of authority just to get past the door checks.
I'll see what I can do. I might
Let
be
me
able to
know
do
if you
something during
need-
the next Elysium.
I was thinking something a little bit closer.
Like?
Perhaps you could deputize one of us in an interim kind of fashion. An interim hound.
One of you wannabe hounds?
He looks to Kess.
Why is it always me? um. Listen. I can get you information. I can't necessarily punch anybody. I can make people feel pain for a very long time. I don't know what a hound entails. I don't leave.
Hounds fulfill a bunch of
But-
different roles. Some are investigators, some are bruisers.
Well,
Look, I'll just get you a letter that says if someone has a trouble with what you're doing, they can come talk to me about it.
sounds good.
Yeah, you see, she grabs a piece of paper and begins to hurriedly writing a note.
In the meantime, with the gargoyle, it's stronger than you think it is. But it currently, for the next 7 days, if you shine a light on it, it will be in a lot of pain.
She pauses for a moment. What do you mean?
Shine a flashlight at it. It's like shining the sun. But that will only be for a week.
Alright, sure. I'll keep that in mind.
And because you're helping us with it, let me know if you need anything.
I will. With that, you watch as she
I had
pulls
a
out what looks to be a little stamp. Stamps it with the paper with the seal of the sheriff's office. Or putting it away again. She pushes the piece of paper across the table to you.
Thank you.
No, this isn't a get out of jail free card.
Oh no. And he'll look at Jordy. Also, I'll talk to Caius about the
Alright.
problem he may or may not have let loose.
Sure. So if you do happen to have any actual evidence of this, maybe I can make a case.
I'm not sure I'll ever have that much, but I will do my best.
Something big's happening right now. Some kind of world level play.
Whatever it is. We got enough problems here.
Think we could get a ride back to the chantry?
Sure.
I assume the chantry's not a secret location. Or is it?
No.
No.
Not to the people of actual offices. They have a... if they don't know, they have a vague idea. Because it'd be within your domain. You just say, Walker will take you there.
Thank you, Helen.
Don't mention it. Seriously, don't.
Never.
You two stay safe. Alright?
You too. And Cass will get up and start leaving the room.
Jordy will follow.
On their way out, Cass will make a phone call. There's a couple phone calls that are gonna happen.
Alright.
First phone call, he's calling Caius's number.
Okay. The phone answers.
No speaking as usual, right?
Yep.
Meet me at the chantry. I'm not asking. And then he ends the call. And then he's going to call the person that he has, I assume 48 missed calls by now.
Yeah.
He's going to call Hasib.
Alright. With that, we cut back to Hasib. Hasib, you've just landed on the rooftop of what looks to be a crash. Where you see police have begun to cordon off the area.
Hasib is frantically like pacing on the rooftop, trying to get better vantage points. You know, like bending over, twisting his neck, trying to see if perhaps his family is twisted within the metal. You know, trying to see what happened. Was there a fight? Is there signs of like magical combat or something? Maybe there was people defending themselves. He doesn't really know too much. The camera feed only saw those strange figures, but not any audio or anything. So
Alright, then. At that point, your phone begins to ring.
it's actually he this phone is not Hasib's. It's probably borrowed from the quartermaster, and Hasib like jumps for a second, because Hasib doesn't have a lot of money, so he doesn't have his own cell phone. He whips it out and he looks at it, opens it up. Oh, do we have flip phone? I don't know. He looks at it and he frantically answers before even looking at who was calling or what number was calling. Yes, hello. This is George.
Hasib, it's me.
Oh, okay.
Did you not read who is calling?
You're alive. This is good. This is good news. Okay, I am here. I see the vehicle. What happened? Jordy's going to be so angry. That is his car.
Oh, it's fine. Jordy's not less pissy than usual. I'm sitting, by the way, I'm still next to
Right
Jordy.
here,
Like,
yeah.
I'm still next to him. He'll be fine. I'm sure he has insurance.
I'm sure, but you sound very nonchalant. What's happened? It's a mess. They're cleaning up the wreckage
What?
and.
Yeah, we're on our way back to the chantry. Well, it's a lot to explain.
Okay. Right. Well.
What do you
Is
mean
there
you
anything?
see the car?
Oh, we are. You see, Michael and I have made a trip. After you didn't answer the 33rd call, I got worried, so I started preparing. And then after, a few more calls, I decided that you were in trouble, and we have come to help. And you're not
Hasib,
in need.
Hasib, go home right now.
Okay. Do I need to do anything else here at the?
No. Hasib, the gargoyle is loose. It can't go in the light. Go home.
The gargoyle, and Hasib like looks to Michael, who's like perched right next to him. Do you mean? Oh, and Hasib looks around, his eyes going
Please go
wide.
home.
The unbowed.
Cass,
Hasib,
you collapse in pain as you feel
oh,
this
fun.
deep pain resonating within you. It feels like your nerves are on fire.
Yeah, he'll
Jordy,
yell,
you
drop
watch
the phone,
as
drop to the
Cass
ground.
drops the phone and collapses.
Kez, what the hell are you? And he's just gonna like just look up and sigh, and then he's gonna. I don't think he knows what to do. He's gonna stand here. He was told not to pin the person down for having a seizure. So
Cass,
Is this
what do you do
familiar
as
to
you
me?
feel this? Yes, it's familiar. As you feel
Oh,
this
yeah, okay.
intense pain rack through your body.
He's gonna ride it out. He's just going to kind of curl up in fetal position and just wait until it passes.
For you, Hasib, you suddenly can't hear Cass anymore. As Cass is cut off mid-word.
Right as he said the unbound. Has he followed you? The unbound. What's happening? Kes, say something. Hasib is like yell whispering because he is like hiding out on a roof with a bunch of people down below.
I think Jordy will pick up the phone at that point. Hasib,
Oh, Sir Regent, what happened to? I was just speaking with Kes.
some sort of seizure.
Hey,
Can I speak through the pain?
You can through gritted teeth.
He's gonna. Yeah.
Just so you know, you take 5 points of lethal damage. As you can feel
Me?
bits in your body begin to rupture and
shit.
explode.
Right. How many points do I have? I'm sorry, I'm still learning how to put this on my sheet. So I just
think
keep
it
going
is-
down the line, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that would
Oh,
put
I'm
you
crippled.
pretty hurt.
I can't. Yeah, I can't walk. I'm
Yeah,
crippled.
you can't. Yeah, that's why you're on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Can Jordy hear the bones in my body breaking?
Do you have all specs, Jordy?
Hell no.
Oh well.
Probably not then. Well, so it's not your bones, it's your organs and internals rupturing. It's specifically this is an ability called the Shattering.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it does break
Oh,
bones.
Well.
So yeah, Jordy, make me an perception and awareness. This will be difficulty 8.
Hey, he's super good at this. Let's see. This is highest set right here.
Is it actually, or are you joking?
Super joking. Yeah.
Oh no.
You don't have all specs, so botches don't count. Okay, so
One.
1 success. You hear an odd cracking noise that's coming from Cass. It takes you a moment
Jesus,
before
what
you
the hell's
go.
happening?
Yeah, it's like, what kind of a seizure is this? It's like this odd kind of this. And then for a moment you're like, oh, that's the sound of breaking bones. It's a familiar sound. You heard it not long ago.
Do I know of any? I think thaumaturgy is what I'm thinking. That would do
Intelligence,
this.
and occult. This will be difficulty 8 for this one.
Is it less difficult knowing I just got off the phone with Caius?
Nope. He can
Okay.
assume Caius did it, but knowing what it is
Yeah.
different.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Caius doesn't exactly
Look
advertise
at
what he knows.
you.
2 successes. You have
Right.
heard your sire talk about Caius being a master of something that is known as the Path of Pain. It is the ability to inflict pain upon enemies and do a bunch of different effects, starting off with things that are minor to things such as a full-blown brain hemorrhage.
I think Jordy's gonna sigh. Fuck. He's gonna pick up Kess, and I'll put a point of blood into it so I can actually carry him properly.
Roll me
And then
d10.
He's gonna. Yeah. Nope.
You force the blood into the location it's supposed to be, and it fills your muscles, and you go to pick up Hess, and then suddenly it deflates. The blood point is spent and wasted, but you do not gain any strength from it.
Can I still try to carry him?
You can still try to carry him, but you don't have the enhanced strength. And you
I'm
you
not-
are aware that the blood has failed you.
Mm-hmm. Athletic strength.
Yeah, that works. Slight strength. I think
Difficulty.
also, we'll say standard difficulty. I think you also start to feel a feeling of fatigue upon you, which you don't normally feel. You don't have any potence, do you? I don't think so.
Nope.
No, so yeah, botches don't count. 2 successes. You are able to lift Kess, or at least help carry Kess out of here.
Yeah, maybe decides to do arm around the shoulder and he's
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
like dragging his feet as they go.
Kess is just gonna. Is it still going? Like, is it just a continuous, or is it ended?
The effect is ended, but you can still feel the ache of your internal bones and organs that have been ruptured.
We're getting a ride from the ghoul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also you would see Kess's eyes almost blood red as like the vessels in his eyes burst.
Guys is mad.
Fucker.
That hurt a lot.
Looked like it.
Yeah. He might meet us at the chantry.
All right.
Okay. Are you okay?
Compared to you, I'm doing just fine.
You know, I'm gonna need to feed soon.
We're gonna have to do something about that in general. Last time I went out with Quangle, we ran into that vandal, and he kicked me across the street.
I think Kess starts laughing and then immediately wincing at the pain that laughing causes him.
Kess, you laugh before blood begins to like fill your mouth.
It's just,
You know,
Uh.
I felt bad for you for about a minute.
it's so you. It hurts though. What did you do?
It was right in the middle of the street. And that kick was pretty hard.
Yeah, I bet it
Left it as
was.
is. Everything I could have done back would have broken the masquerade inherently.
Yeah, I assume you have a couple tricks up your sleeve.
If they work. I tried to make myself strong enough to carry you, and it didn't happen.
You feel so bad. Kess starts chuckling again. I'm trying to make myself strong enough to carry you. It's fine. Mine didn't work, and it worked tonight, so that's something.
At this point, you arrive at the door, and you see Walker, who's next to the car, looks at you and goes, "Alright, so where are you?" Holy hell! What'd you do to piss her off?
That wasn't her. Don't worry about it. I just would like to be home.
Alright, none of my business anyway. Get to the back of the car.
He'll help Kess in first, and then walk around to the other side and get in.
With that, you begin to drive back. And we focus in on a phone that has been left on the ground, with a voice calling through it.
Haseeb is
My
just
cell
like
phone!
freaking out on the other side of the phone. Like, no, I mean the conversation was just left in a lull. Like, he's looking at Michael with this horrified face. I don't know what's happening to both of them. I think the Unbowed has them.
We should return back to the chantry. It is where you are safe. I cannot guarantee safety out here, as he looks around.
We'll have to. You're right, Michael. We need everyone to form a rescue party or something. We can't do it just us two.
Yes, we will help. Together. He nods solemnly.
Together. And Haseeb Haseeb will say, Can I ride on your shoulders, maybe?
Yes.
his
We
biggest
see as you
smile.
fly off into the night on the back of a gargoyle. It's kind of a ridiculous scene.
Yeah, it's never-ending story. Immediate song playing. His arms just like.
Alright. With that, you all arrive back at the chantry. In your various states.
Do
Is
we
Ket
all
still in a?
do we arrive at like how far apart do we arrive? I guess.
It would be Quangle and Runa arriving first. Then it would be then I think it would be Hasib and Michael, and then finally bringing up the rear would be Jordy and Kess.
If they arrived first and she didn't see anyone else in dire straits, Marina would probably ask to go to Quangle's office.
Alright.
Right away.
Come along then. So, yeah, Quangle will lead the way to his laboratory.
Bob, if you want to ask your question before we go on with that.
No, I think I can wait till we arrive before last one's in. Yeah.
Okay. Just go in. Sit down. Okay. So, getting all the secrets out, right?
Yes, yes. All the secrets, what you've been experiencing since the crumbling of the pyramid, any symptoms. We can talk about how you're feeling too.
Well, as you know, this isn't new for me, really, any of this. I've been feeling it since before the pyramid actually fell. But since it's fallen, let's see. I had a seizure, I told you about that. The other day I cried.
Tears of blood, I
Actual.
assume? Or actual
No.
tears?
Actual
Wow.
tears.
Quangle has his notebook. Fascinating. Yes, continue, please.
Yeah. I've told you, I think I've kept you all relatively up to date on my visions.
Yes. You described, if I'm interpreting this correctly, red cords around all of our necks being pulled by someone.
Yes. Everyone has a different person pulling their strings. For Kess, it was Caius. For Jordy, it was actually himself.
That tracks. That makes perfect sense. Yes.
And yours, it was hazy for a while, but like I said, I saw it when I saw her.
Yes. My wife. Yes.
As for me, well, the person I just went to visit.
Yes. Who is that person? What is your history?
You know that I didn't come to the chantry under the best of circumstances.
Yes, I am well aware.
Silas found me on campus.
Yes. What was your major, if you don't mind me asking?
I was in high school. I was about to graduate. I was at a private boarding school.
High school. I see.
I had just It was the end of my senior year. I was looking forward to being able to go to a university.
That must have been hard.
Yeah. He pretended to be someone who worked for the school. Told me to come to his office. And then he wouldn't let me leave.
And that's where you were embraced.
Yeah. When I woke up, I had a second before he noticed I was awake. It was like, I don't know, shot of adrenaline, except I assume that's not something that we have. So I guess it was just the hunger. Fledgling hunger, I've heard it called now. I ran as fast as I could. I just ran from him. The person who found me was the person I visited today.
I see.
Maruna, can you make
I-
me a willpower roll, difficulty 9?
Yeah. I was expecting at some point that this would be required.
Fortunately, you're obfuscated, Zach. Can't read what you've written.
Wait, what?
I saw you putting a paper to the... I thought you were trying to show us something.
Oh no, I was trying to get my camera to refocus.
Oh.
Oh no. I'm assuming botches are live for this?
No, not in this case.
Oh, okay, then it's one success.
One success. You feel this press as you get closer to the topic of Fox. This feeling in your mind, like something tightening around your chest. But you push past it. For the rest of the scene, his blood bond no longer has hold over you, but you know it is only a matter of time before it returns, and it will return in force. You can speak your mind about him.
His name is Fox Adams. Or at least that's what he calls himself. That doesn't sound like a real name. He found me when I was a fledgling. I was hungry. I drank from him. I didn't know what it would do.
And now he has some sort of power over you.
The bonds within the Tremere have been broken. Fox isn't a Tremere. The blood bond holds. And it's only a matter of time before I do something I regret.
I see. Has he asked you to do something now? Are you under any obligation right now where you're returning something to him? What has he asked you to do or do or
He wanted
now
a
or in
book.
the past? A
I,
book.
I gave I gave him the book. It was why I was gone for a while. A few days ago, the Malkavians had it. A group called the Coven of the Moon. I found them. I got the book. Casnos helped me. I told him to be quiet about it. Hasib too. I don't know how much either. Neither of them know everything. Neither of them know why I had to do it. They just know that I got the book.
I see, Maruna. I'm happy the book did not come from the library.
No, I wouldn't steal a book. I mean, actually, if Fox told me to, I probably would steal a book from the library. Oh God.
Listen, we are stronger together. We will all figure out a way to break this hold that he has over you, one way or another.
I don't know how it's so strong. It's a miracle that I can even talk to you about it, and it's only a matter of time. He wants me to kidnap someone.
Someone from the clan.
No, her name was, Celine?
Selena Francis.
Selena Francis.
Is that name familiar to me, Mark?
I don't think it would be. No.
Okay. I see. Selena Francis. She's our Jane Doe. This is the most important question I'm going to ask you, Maruna. What do you want?
I want my free will to be my own again.
I see.
I
And what are
don't
you willing to... Oh, continue.
don't want him to have this power over me.
What are you willing to do to regain your freedom?
I don't know. What does it take? I have no idea where to start.
In my professional opinion, we have to leave every card on the table. We have the library, we can do some research with the others to figure out how to break the bond. But for now, you are under his thrall. So, you may have to deliver the girl to him. For now.
I don't want to.
I know.
Please, please, please just stop me. I don't. Whatever you have to do, I don't care. Just don't. I don't want to hurt anyone.
It is an unfortunate fact of our affliction that by our very nature we hurt people. The best we can do in some cases is that the people we hurt, their pain is a part of a greater strategy. We'll bring everyone in so they know your situation and we can strategize. But I would recommend, this is your situation, however you want to proceed, it's up to you. I would recommend keeping all cards on the table until we find the most optimal strategy that reduces the amount of pain we inflict on others.
All right. You know now. If I can't tell them, if I don't have the will to do it anymore, then at least you know and you can tell them.
Yes, I will. I'm sure we'll have a number of meetings. Our regent is, he fancies his meetings. There'll be ample opportunity. Mark, can I psychoanalyze dear Maruna?
Sure.
Yay.
Perception empathy.
Perception, empathy. Ooh.
I'd also allow perception academics for a more clinical understanding.
What's my academics?
Empathy.
Okay, gotcha. So perception and then yep, perception. I'll do academics. All right, roll 9. Perception, academics. No. Uh, what's the difficulty?
Standard difficulty. Maruna's not trying to hide her
Ooh.
emotions.
T and A. Yeah.
Alright, and that was academics.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, from an academical standpoint, try to remember 11th grade psychology, but I believe there's something around uh, uh someone forms a dependency. Because there's elements of the blood bomb that works like an addiction. It is something that is strong enough that it can overcome people's senses and people's what would be people's rationale. There's also certainly something in Maruna that looks is signs of trauma, signs of abuse. Um, Again, abuse can come in many forms. It's hard to denote exactly what kind of, but you would guess some sort of emotional abuse. There is something highly traumatized about her. And it goes beyond what she's talking about here. You get the feeling that her whole life has been one traumatizing event after another. And perhaps even further. But it's hard to gauge. I forget the exact term, but there's probably some clinical definition for addictive trauma or something along those lines. I forget what. You would know whatever the clinical thing is. Essentially,
I see.
that is what your understanding of it. And also, correct me, Maruna, if you have anything particular you would like to add.
I would, as a psychology nerd, suggest probably CPTSD.
CP.
Complex PTSD. Oh yeah, that too.
Quengo looks up from his notebook based on his assessment of Maruna's mental state. He looks at her and takes her hands in his. You are heard here. I hear you and I see you. We will do everything in our power to end this. I promise.
Thank you. Maybe if I can break this, then we all have to be free of our strings in order to stop this. I think.
Yes, that is apparent from all of our conversations and how the puzzle is fitting together. What form that freedom takes depends on the person. The road to healing is a long one, Marina. And there's no magic spell you can cast. The bond can be broken, but said trauma can still be there. But I believe you're taking the first steps on your road to healing, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks. You're like a better therapist than the ones my parents sent me to when I was a kid.
If you want to, we can talk about that too.
It's the least of our concerns, but maybe some other time.
My door is always open. Everything is interconnected.
At this point, you hear a
That's-
knock at the door.
Enter. I think we're at the end of our session.
One of the ghouls steps forward and says, "My apologies, masters, but the others have requested your presence in the meeting room."
Of course, thank you.
Thank you,
Uh,
George.
Closes the door.
I know his name now, you know. Quangle did that. He knows his name now. It's not just calling him loafers. Well, we need to go to the meeting room. I'll go first if you need some time to collect yourself, to put on a strong face. Take that time. Don't touch anything in my laboratory if you plan on sitting here for a few minutes.
I'm gonna go back to my room for 2 minutes and then I'll be right down.
Sure thing. Quangle will open the door and usher her out,
So
and then
head upstairs to
Okay.
kind of take some deep breaths.
With that, I think we will cut the session here for today. After an intense few scenes, I hope those who have been watching have enjoyed today's episode, episode 11. I think with that, why don't we go around and do our outros? Let's start off with Bob. Why don't you give us your outro?
Hey, ticking time Bob here. You can see a whole bunch of Pendragon and Legend of the Five Rings more recently, with many of these players over on my channel, Ticking Time Bob Gaming. We have our backlog on YouTube if you want to go back and see what we've done there. We also have interviews, or I have interviews rather, with a number of game designers like Sandy Peterson of Call of Cthulhu. Check those out as well on the YouTube. That'd be wonderful. That's all I got. I'm gonna leave it at that. I've been Jordy, the mid-level manager of the Tremere. Yeah.
Very nice. Up next, Emily, why don't you give us your outro?
Hi, I'm Emily. I played Kess, who somehow is still alive. Took more damage from making a really sassy phone call than he did a full-on car accident. And yeah, I'm one of the aforementioned players in one of Bob's games on Tuesdays called Summerland Enchantment. But it's the kind of fairy magic side of Pendragon. So less of the night stabby stuff, more of the crossing into fairy and seeing things that horrify you stuff. So very interesting. But
Very nice. Up next, Ree, why don't you give us your outro?
Hey everyone, it's Ree here, also known as Sorcery Arts. I had a great time this session. Everyone's trauma's coming out. Love that. I played Maruna today. You can also catch me on Mondays with Mortal Rolls, where we play Pathfinder 2e in a homebrew Greek and Roman mythology inspired setting. You can catch me on Bob's channel on Saturdays for the Legends of the Five Rings game. And starting as of today, you can catch me on my own channel, Sorcery Arts, where I'm going to be just hanging out and working on my art that I'm always working on anyway. So I figured I'd invite you guys to come along and join. So feel free to check that out as well.
Very nice. Wonderful. And with that, Zach, why don't you give us your outro?
Yeah, so I'm Zach. I got to play Hasib once again, constantly panicking to those scenes late, and thankfully, the unbowed was already gone, or watching, or I don't know, was confused at Hasib and Michael being like kind of equals for some reason. That must be strange to the unbowed, but yeah, it was a blast. And before I forget, because I don't know if we were in some intense scenes, but I think I saw a subscription for Medic Himbo. So shout out to them.
Indeed, a big thank you for subscribing. It's always wonderful when people are able to help out just by giving us, I think it's like $5 for a subscription, basically the price of a coffee. So thank you very much to Medikimbo and of course everyone else who has subscribed. As well with that, not to move away from our last, but certainly not least player for tonight, Cyberbro, why don't you give us your outro? Why don't you tell the audience how they can get Quangled?
All right. Hey, if I've been Cyberbro, I've been playing Dr. Quentin Quangled, and if you want to get Quangled, take that first step on the road to healing. All right.
Very nice. And I have been Mark, aka the CatsMeow. Hello, and welcome to my channel. If you've liked this so far, why don't you give us a follow here on Twitch? And if you're watching this as the VOD on YouTube, why don't you give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you somehow made it all the way through. You deserve a pat on the back for that. Yeah, I have some other shows that are currently on hiatus, but I am working towards showing. They will be coming out soon, and by soon, I mean a couple months from now. But until then, I hope you've been enjoying House of Tremere, and I hope you're excited for more shows in the future. I love vampire, and I'm excited for more of my strange vampire and vampire-adjacent games. So keep an eye out, and be aware. As well, I would also, as always, like to give a big thank you to Ree, aka Sorcery Arts, for the lovely art she has done for us. The lovely player arts were all done by her, as well as this lovely
Overlay.
overlay. I'm gonna get that word eventually. This lovely overlay that we use. So a big thank you to her. Check out her Instagram, which there should be a link in the description of the YouTube channel. I also got to set up a thing so that people can just do like exclamation on Instagram and it'll give out links. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. And I hope to see you next week as we dive further into the strange mysteries and deep trauma that seems to bind our Tremere together. Hopefully the pyramid will be made stronger. And perhaps something can be built from the crumbling remains of its last pyramid. Until then, have a good night, and hope you will be our guests once more.